Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. We're coming up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one podcast for the ups and downs of life. I am your host, Dax. I'm so excited to have you back here. As always, I have my beautiful, amazing, super real, you know what I mean, friend of mine for many years. Somebody that keeps me in check, helps me hold all my money so I don't spend all of it, you know. My co-host, Randi, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Are you? Are you doing all right?
I'm doing all right.
You good?
I'm good.
All right.
Yes.
I know you had a lot on your mind. Today is your day. I just want to let you know before we even get into it. Today is your day. All right.
Okay.
Because I need to know what's on your mind. But look, I'm going to jump right into it because today we're talking about change. And I know today is not going to be the only day that we talk about it, because when you think about quiet money and we talk about going on that journey and doing what God ultimately has you to do that's just for you, that's the key part for you to remember. You know what I'm saying? It's just for you. And if it's just for you, you might have to go through some things, some changes to be able to get to that spot that you're supposed to be at, right? Now, them changes could be changes in what you're doing, changes in who you're doing it with. You know what I'm saying? Changes in yourself, changes in your, so many things. But if you're trying to get to that ultimate thing that you are meant to do, most likely you may not be already doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a starting point and you got to figure out how to get from where you're at to where you want to go. That's the most thing. And as you do that, you probably gonna have to change some things. Now, change ain't easy. You know what I mean? Most of the time it's difficult. And a lot of the times it's something that you don't want to do, but have to do. You know what I mean? Nah, with that, I said it's Randi's day, so I'm going to turn it over to her. But on our first episode, we talked about change in that episode, which was good. But we only talked about one part of it. Nah, you talked about, because of communication with us and all that, and things that we had been talking about in the past and ways you felt, you had to go off on your end and try to improve something, right? And change something in the business, right?
I remember that conversation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You went and changed something and didn't say nothing to me about it because of, you know, all those other things. And check that episode out. But anyway, the impact there was one thing, great, making more money now than we was before. That's a change that you made. The other side is you didn't tell me. So now we gotta go work on why we're in business together and not really in business together. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother thing. But what I want to talk about today is about what's on your mind right now, because even after that change you made that was good, I think this week you had a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and you didn't just, you know, walk away like, yo, I did this good thing and now everything's better. It seems like it's been putting you through a lot. And I want you to talk about it today. So what's been going on, Randi?
I've been overwhelmed this week.
I know. I know. You know what I'm saying?
I've been overwhelmed with multiple responsibilities. I think our business, the team manager for the soccer team, parenting, preparing. We have 2 vacations coming up within the next, 3-4 weeks. Trying to get the rental together, making sure, you know, the kids need new everything. Underclothes, outfits, like oh my goodness. It's a lot. And that's just like 4. I can identify probably like 10, but I'm just going to say it's a whole lot of things just swirling around in my head. And specifically for the business, I did have to make some difficult decisions, which I did discuss with you first.
That's last episode. We ain't talking about the discussion
this
part.
time.
Just
yeah.
what happened. However you feel comfortable talking about it.
It's been a long time coming. But the best way for me to describe it is, so let's say you start a business, right? Your husband has a full-time job and you have a full-time job. So any money that you get from that business is extra. So let's say you're providing a service and you're working, I'm working, and that service is, you're cheaper than everybody else providing that service because that service is side money. So let's say you're charging $25 for something. Okay. Well, a couple years later, you actually leave your job. You actually get credentials and you're better than probably 99% of the people that's in your same market. 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, why are you still charging $25 for that same service? Everybody else's prices are increasing. Yours remain the same. The work I've had to do is why, and for me, that's been like eye-opening on the why. And I don't want to admit it, but I haven't raised it because I want to be liked. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I don't want anybody looking at me like, oh, she think whatever. I don't know. I mean, I do know.
Yeah, I know you know because you ain't did it. But hold up, before you even get in that, I just want to ask you a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Just a quick question about something you said just now. You said that when you was with your example, you got two people that's working full time and the side money and all that, right?
Right.
But at that time when you was working full time, did you feel a way about the prices then? Or is it something that you notice more when you weren't working and you got more involved, I guess, in the business or whatever, in the exam? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
I felt a way about the prices, but I didn't have the confidence.
All right.
So I was okay with, all right, it's kind of like a hustle in a sense. Like, okay, let me just, get this little extra real quick. I know what I'm doing, but it's cool. I'm really affordable.
All right. Continue with what you were saying.
Okay. Gotcha. So anyway, so basically we ended up doing a price increase for the business. And it's been so difficult because how do you tell somebody, hey, I know I've been charging you $25 for this service, for the past whatever years. But now I'm about to charge you $100 if you want to continue service with me.
With that example's 25 to 100.
Yeah.
25 to 100 ain't the usual.
I know.
Price increase for anything. And so something, hold up.
And that's why I am beating myself
underneath
up.
That is wrong.
Yes.
Underneath that. Not because what you're talking about right now is the challenge of going, all right, you're knowing me for the 25, now I got to charge you 100. But you're going from 25 to 100. Is that associated to something else? The reason why it's got to go from 25 to 100. What is that?
I have to do it. I have to start charging what I'm worth.
Nah, all right.
And if it means losing people along the way, I'm sorry. I'm sad about it. But I'm correcting a mistake that I made in the beginning. I can't continue to let this go on.
I like that.
And it was multiple people too.
I like that. So here's the thing. Here's what I think, right? You say you're correcting a mistake that's made in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I want to get into that. I'm not talking for you. I'm just going to talk to your example and what I think could happen sometimes. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing something and it's not getting your full attention and you're not putting, in all honesty, your best effort into it, no matter what, because a side hustle is that. It's not all of you. It's a piece of you. That's why it's on the side, right? So if you're doing something and you're not putting everything into it from the beginning, that thing is probably not the thing in your life that's being maximized, the things that you're being, making the best decisions about, you know what I mean? Being effective about, like really doing the things that could really like make the most out of that situation. Because you don't have the time to do it. Right. It's on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I say that because I believe that, and also the fact that it's something new that you're trying, can drive you to not realize your worth. And I feel like when it talks about change, right? Like you said, that's hard, but you're changing something like that you did wrong in the beginning, which is not know what your initial worth was and what you was providing. And it's a lot of things that contribute to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them is the fact that I ain't even doing this work all the time. I don't have the true appreciation for how much I'm gonna have to go through to provide this service. I haven't really did all the research that's needed to know how much everybody else is pricing. Where should I be priced at? It's a lot of things that's going into that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really thought about my own experience or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It's a general, organic, human response reaction to kind of dumb yourself down at first. And I don't know why. We could talk about that. I don't know other people that's experienced that. But for some reason, though, we're more comfortable working at, I know, my experience working at a salary job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And looking at it and saying, hey, they should be giving me more money. But that as opposed to having your own business and being able to say, nah, somebody else should be paying me this.
Right.
For some reason, when it's yours, it's like you're more comfortable with somebody else telling you what your worth is than you telling yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I find that interesting. But now you, through working this business, through having these experiences, through having more time to focus on it, I think could look at it and say, nah, I'm really worth this. And you have to fix it because I'm sure it feels
Yeah.
bad knowing that you're actually under, like you know it. You know what I'm saying?
And knowing that also impacts how I work, because the people that's paying me the $100, I take it very serious. Like, I'm just more serious. I'm more attentive. And the 25, it frustrates me. I'm like, dang, I know I should be getting more for this, and why am I still doing
But
it?
was it always like that? Or is that what's happening now because you know what your worth is? Like in the beginning, were you killing yourself for that 25?
No, because I took it as a learning experience, because my business wasn't built. So it was like, okay, like I'm figuring this out as I go along.
I like that.
Yeah. So but I already knew.
You knew.
I knew.
But you're changing though.
Right.
But it's tough.
Yeah.
Now, to the other part about what you said, and then I want to let you go into the communications and how you was feeling about that, because we didn't really, with your clients, that kind of stuff. But
it's clients.
All right, yeah, we can't talk about that. But listen, I just wanna ask. I ain't poking nothing into it. I just want to ask this. You said you knew. So when it comes to change, and I don't, like I said, ups and downs of life, being real about things, right? When you realize, like, okay, I'm undercharged, or hey, this is what I should be doing. I need to go pivot and make some changes, and it's going to be tough, and this and that. Like, you can go through all that analysis in your head, and you can think about these things, and you could know, I need to do something. And for some reason, you can know, and it be month 1, and then before you know it, it's month 7, and you ain't did nothing. And you're just sitting there, sitting on the decision on something that you know already, right? I want to ask you, why do you think, just being real, why do you think you know what you need to do to change to make it better, and you don't do it right away? Why is that?
Well, the number one reason would be, I think my business partner would have had a problem with it.
Really? Is that
yes. Yes.
All right. This is an example though, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
No, I'm just playing. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but then it's, why did I sit on it?
But that's your real answer though? Your business partner would have been tight?
Yes.
All right, I got you.
Do you agree?
Maybe. but it's true. I talked about how I felt about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's one reason. And then it's still not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like knowing what I should, but how to implement it.
Yeah.
That was the struggle right there. Knowing for months after month after month, but then it's okay, how do I implement it? How do I have the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
That was
hard.
yeah. And
Now,
when do
when
I
you're
do
talking about,
this?
when you say implement it, are you just talking about telling your clients about it? Are you talking about telling your partner about it? Or you mean everybody?
Everything.
Everybody. So can we piece it up then?
Let's piece it up.
Let's piece it up then. All right. So with your partner, let's piece up the partner part because you said that 1st.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a lot of people that if they do go and have a business, they may not be in business with by themselves.
Yes.
Just like you. So when you want to make these kind of decisions, you have to work with somebody to do it. That's the challenge of having a partnership or any type of business combination. No matter if it's your wife or somebody you don't even see all the time, don't even really know them like that, whatever. All right. You have to work with them. Now, you were struggling with the implementation of it, which ironically is something that your partner is really good at. That's what they do for a living.
Right.
So what you really needed to make it efficient and effective and easier for you to do was sitting right next to you. And I think you knew that. But you didn't have that person. You rather go behind that person's back. You know what I'm saying? But
for those who don't know, this is my business partner. Dexter is my business partner.
You know what I mean? So you didn't.
And I did go behind his back, listen, which we talked about on.
So we jumping out the example. But listen, that person, me, is right there, right? And that's something that I could have helped you with, but that's continuing to have impacts and things getting wrong because we ain't addressed the initial problem, which we talked about in the last episode, which is communicating, making sure that we know that we're on the same page. You know what I'm saying? And really feeling like we're true partners no matter what. Because that was the key that we talked about the last episode is we're going to have differences. We're going to have different ways that we look at things, but we have to make sure we communicate and do it in a way where we feel like we're still partners because we're still partners no matter what. We don't have to agree or think the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm right here. You didn't utilize me to implement it, so you kind of sat on it. Then you had to go do your way, right? Now, why you thought that I have a problem with it? I'm gonna say why I had a problem with it. All right. Since we're going there, I'm gonna say why I had a problem with it, and I want to get your thought on it for real. I felt like, and of course, now that you're working the business full time, you're gonna have a different feeling towards it than me. Regardless, whatever money that comes in the door, you're gonna feel differently about it because you're more actively involved. It's gonna impact you more. You know what I mean? Plus, you're a woman, like realistically, you know what I'm saying? So, what happens is, without really understanding the process and what's changing and why and that kind of thing, it could have been viewed and it was viewed as a lot of feelings involved. And that's right. Like if you feel like, hey, we're not making enough money, this should be different. I'm being undercharged. I'm not appreciated. Yes, that's a lot of feelings. Very valid feelings. Very important feelings. Very, you know what I mean, urgent type feelings that I want to address for you because I don't want you feeling like that working the business that we have together. But I also am thinking in my mind, this business is its own standalone thing. And I have to always, as the head of the business, make the right decision for that standalone entity to make sure that it continues to go forward, even if my main resource in it is not feeling some things. You see what I'm saying? So I was looking at it like, well, what's the new way? And you know, I also felt like your communication was more on how unhappy you were of what it was and not enough information on what we can do with it to make it better, to make it something that actually works. Like the proof, like, you know what I'm saying? Like proof of concept on the new thing. All I heard was how unhappy I am with the current thing. So I was kind of in this middle thing of like, all I could focus on was what you were saying about the unhappiness. We couldn't get to the, you got what I'm saying? The actual business part. I felt like we was kind of stuck and not actually talking about business because what you was communicating to me was not business information.
And that unhappiness made you angry.
Mm-mm. No. Go ahead. If that's what you think, go ahead.
I feel like
Yeah.
well, I wasn't even saying I was unhappy with the business.
But that's not even what you said. Let's keep it 100. That's not what you
So
said.
I was just saying that we ain't making no money.
I know, but that's all you said. Though. You get what I'm saying? We ain't making no money. We ain't making no money. I'm desperate. We ain't making no money. I'm desperate. We ain't making no money. Waking up 5 in the morning and you crying.
No, when I said I was desperate, I wasn't even talking about the business.
But who knew that? That's what I'm saying. Who knew?
No, I think you took you're taking different conversations and turning them into one.
They sound like the same conversation. From my view,
yeah,
that's why I took it the way I was. And at the same time, and maybe anybody that's listening can understand, right? As a man, we have a different view on things. And that is not an excuse. It's just true. Like as a man, the average man, I don't talk about the new age man that don't mind having their woman take care of them all day. Like I ain't that type of guy. I like to take care of my woman, take care of my kids, take care of my own situation, take care of myself. I don't need nobody. Like that's what I want to be like. I feel like that's what a man's supposed to be. Period. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Oh my goodness. But say I don't need that. You know what I mean? When you came in from working, yes, that was a business move for me, but it was also personal. And this is where we should have communicated more because, yes, I was bringing you home to do this, but you was very unhappy at the time, going through a lot of things at work, a lot of stress. You had to change. You had to make there that you was thinking about for a long time because you was unhappy and you wasn't going where you wanted to go and you wanted to be an entrepreneur. So as a man, it's like, yo, I kind of made that happen for you. Yeah, we did it together. But as a man, you kind of take that. I'm serious. Where it's like, and you have to take it because I'm also the one that's still working as well. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get to 100% do the entrepreneur route. I'm still got to piece it. You know what I mean? So I looked at it like, which I didn't realize as much, but I was expecting or hoping like a certain level of gratitude. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for you to be happy, just happy because of what I did for you. The tough part and the change where it comes into me is realizing that what I did for you after that needed to be changed. That's where we didn't connect. And I feel like we're connecting now because we were connected. And I want everybody to realize this. I want to tell you where I'm going with this, with the change thing. A lot of times you think people's going to ride with you in life. And when you have to change things, they might even ride with you all the way through the decision to change it. They came from the beginning, knew you from where you were. Y'all were chopping up ideas, talking about things. Now they want to do the change with you, and everything's beautiful. But then when you actually change it, them sticking it out with you is the real test. Because now you're in the new environment that nobody's ever really experienced before. And anytime that you're in a new space with somebody, it shows different things about them. And what I realized in that was, as long as I'm knowing you, the truth of the matter is I never have been with you as you being a full-time entrepreneur. I never had did that before. So I want people to realize that change is difficult and you really have to think about things because what I missed as I was sitting there doing this for you and bringing you home from work and all happy about that and thinking you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. And you're coming home and you're thinking you're happy because you left your old environment. Everybody's happy because they leave the old and they're going into the new. But what do you got to do to prepare for the new? You see what I'm saying? What I missed was I am about to be the owner of somebody that's a full-time entrepreneur now. And I need to make sure that they have what they need. That's what I missed. You got what I'm saying? As an owner, I missed that. Because as I was thinking that I was looking at it independently, I was, but I wasn't looking at it the right way. Because my business now, the model of it has changed because the resources in it are not just part-time resources. I now have one full-time resource. I was supposed to step out of all the feelings out of everything I did for you personally because I rock with you from back in, you know what I mean? Oh, that's trash. Now, what does this business need now that it has a full-time resource to work it? If I
Yeah.
would have did that, what's probably one of the things I would identify? The business needs more money. You see what I'm saying? So I want people to realize like change ain't easy, and listening to a bunch of speeches and all that, that ain't it either. You got to get real experience. You got to work through things, and you got to tap into people that have made the wrong decisions and the right decisions so you can learn along the way. Because that's all that life is. It's a journey, ups and downs. And as people go up, down, if they could pass that journey along with you, it helps you go through the up, down, because it's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that it was. But that's what I needed to do. And I didn't get a chance to do that. But I'm doing it with the new business. And I knew it. But that's what I needed to do. And we could have kept all the personal stuff out of it. Because we both could have stepped out of all of ourselves. You feel me? Stepped out of your feelings of leaving work and everything you want and feeling desperate. And we both could have stepped back and been like, what does the business need now that it has a full-time person working it, more clients, more employees, more expenses? What does it need? But we didn't do it. Right? Real talk.
No, we
You know what I'm
didn't.
saying? So cool. So I say that because you decide to make a change, that person that's with you, as you change it, sit back and watch how things go. Don't think that everything is good because you guys have been planning and talking and you did it, and nah. You're gonna go through ups and downs in everything that you're doing. And I want you to really think about that person and how they're going through the ups and downs with you. And we was talking, I'm gonna let you jump in back in a second, but we was talking earlier this week and something came into my head about quiet money and all that too, kind of ties in. But it came into my head about, you know, how people don't change with you and how you gotta let them go. Now, everybody's heard people, older people tell them that as you're getting older, you gotta cut people off. And I think the way the new age way does it is like, yo, it's about me. I gotta let this person go if they ain't make me feel this way. But I think it's really true that like as you're changing, it's tough for people to change with you. And it's tough for you to change because they're not changing. And that's what might happen. You're going to deny yourself the change you need to make because the people around you are not changing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now, I want to tap into, you know, what you said about the other part of the communication. So we talked about me and how me and you got it wrong and what we thought we was doing and what we should have did, right? So we put that away. Hopefully people who's got a business can take some advice from that. But the other side of why you held on to communicating it was not just because of me, but it's because of everybody else that you had to let know that things are changing. And a lot of them have been rocking with you from day one. You feel me?
And I'm still holding on to one.
So
I still haven't told.
So I want you to tell me, a little bit more about everything that you was feeling and as you're going through, like making sure that you don't end up being the person that people say switched up on them, to be honest. Which is really that. Like how would you feel? Because that's really what it ends up being. Like, yo, she switched up. Basically.
Anxiety was on 100. That's all I can say. Last week it was just as I was thinking about it. I still have another conversation to have next week. And I put it off intentionally because I'm like, goodness gracious. I know I have to get through these conversations, but you want me to tell you what now?
I do. I want to know what it was about. Because listen, anybody that's in business or anything else, when you make these kind of changes, anything that you're doing, You don't live in this world by yourself. You're not in business by yourself. You're not in a relationship by yourself. Everything you do impacts other people. So all week you had anxiety asking me to kind of jump in, or maybe, you know what I'm saying, and how you want to say what you needed to say. But you was like almost terrified.
I know.
But you're telling me on the same breath that you've been frustrated. Like, that's what I want to understand, because what arguing, think about it, let's tie it together. What arguing, what not communicating, you're upset, you're desperate, you feel like you ain't making no money. All right, me and you was already beefing. We already took the loss.
Right.
We already took a loss there. Now you got to go behind. It all ties together. Now you got to go behind my back, go do business with somebody else, blah, blah, blah. Now you're all happy. Now you're going to get some more money. Okay, now me and you still got a problem to fix. Because why did you have to go do that? And one of the things I'm good at, you didn't utilize, and it took you 5 in a day to do it because of me. All right, cool. In addition, it also took you 5 in a day because not just the person you're doing business with in business, but your actual clients are also people that you're like, yo, I'm worried about this. But that's also off of the back of the energy of you saying, I'm desperate. I need more
know.
money. You see what I'm saying? So you're desperate.
Yep.
You know that you're undercharged.
Yes.
You know your worth.
Yes.
You did all the research.
Yes.
But you terrified.
Yep.
To do it.
Yep.
Why? No, for real. Like, why? Like, it's something there. And I think that's with a lot of people. Like, and I don't want to like take you to a place you don't really want to go, but think about it.
I mean,
you go through all that stress, beef with me, all that. And now you're sitting there and you know what you're worth, and you already did all the work and worked with consultants, and now you got it, and you still you still could have backed out, for real.
Yes.
But why is it like that for people? Because you're not the only person, you know, that it comes like that. Why was you so terrified to go to the people that's knew you from the beginning and say, hey, you know, this is what it is? Like, why was you terrified?
Because I put myself in that person's shoes.
All right. What you mean by that?
And back to the example of the $25. Like, that person that's paying $25 doesn't realize I've been giving them a whole lot of free work. Right? So how are they going to feel when you say 25 to 100? Like, it's messed up.
Okay.
It's messed up.
Now, let me ask you something. Realistically, and you can't be in anybody's mind to know, right?
Right.
But when you go out and you buy something, no matter what it is, do you usually have the ability to be like, in a quick second, like, oh, this is a little cheaper than I thought it would be? Are you able to do that for the most things that you buy?
Not most things.
But for the, okay.
Sometimes, yeah.
So realistically, right? Do you think that all of the people that you were worried about communicating this to all felt like they were paying the right market price for you all this time?
I don't know, because it's either they knew they was getting a good price, or they just didn't know what the price should be.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you another question. Do you think that even matters?
I don't know.
My point with that is, it don't really matter what they was thinking. And that's really what I'm realizing even more. It doesn't matter what they was thinking, whether it was a good price or not at the time, whether they got to know, whether it's whatever it is. The simple thing is, are you going to change with me? At the end of the day.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Are you going to change with me? They would also have businesses as well, and will have to make the same decisions. Is this person going to change with me? I now want to open a new location that's going to do XYZ things. The current location I have, I now need additional certifications for it. We're now going to be providing a service that were never provided before. Are you going to change with me? Are you going to take this class to learn how to do it? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody has to do it.
Yeah.
Some of them are money changers, some of them are not. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the question still comes down to, are you going to change with me? Now, what you, I believe, also said you was confident with, even though the communication had you terrified, you're providing a service at a price point you think you could provide, and it's worth it.
Right.
So you feel like what it's worth it for everybody involved. So somehow we're gonna get to a point where we're not scared with that. You know what I'm
Me
saying?
having these conversations, because the thing is, it's not even a brand new conversation, because the relationships that I have with my clients, they see it coming. All the clients I have to talk to, I've told them we're changing. At some point, we're not going to offer this service anymore. So I don't think anybody is shocked. Now, the rate, if you want to continue this service, which we don't offer anymore, you want to pay this if you want me to do it. But what I was trying to say is, it's pushing me to that point. Like, I don't want to work for free. I'm thinking about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I want to be able to bring more income into the home, because there's certain moves that the family needs to make. And I want to be able to do that. So I'm not saying you need my help.
Of course.
You do a
I
great
do.
job
No,
as
of
a
course I do.
provider,
No, I
but
got you.
yeah, first of all, tuition and childcare. My goodness. It's another mortgage. Honestly. So just being able to help offset some of those costs is very important to me. The other thing is spending time with these kids. I mean, spending time with you too, but I want to be able to spend time with my kids. So $25 doesn't excite me anymore.
Got you.
So you want my time, I'm going to need that 100.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you feel that way you did, even though it was tough to communicate it and everything? Did you feel like the change you made is now getting closer to what you're ultimately meant to do, and
Yes,
the value that you really can provide to people?
Absolutely, because my new clients have no problem. They love it. They love the price. They love the value. I am a better person, a better accountant, because of that.
You're walking in your purpose.
Walking
you know
into
what I'm
my
saying?
purpose.
What you're supposed to be doing, what you're meant to do. But it's tough, and you went through them changes.
It's tough,
right
man.
now, and
It's
you're
tough.
still going through it.
I'm still going through it, and I'm still scared of this last conversation that I need to have. But I love that I'm facing my fears. I can identify what they are. And I'm like, okay, I feel this way. Why do you feel this way? Like, I'm going deep with it. It's self-work. But I know once I'm done, this door is closed.
Hey, that's crazy. That is crazy. Hold up. That's real, because with what you're doing, you can honestly say it's literally the end of everything old and how we used to do things. It's like the final bow against everything that we used to do and how we did it from the beginning. And I want to say that because everything we've been doing since 2017 has been a success. We made money, we built clients and all of that. But what we felt and what we realized has to change. And the reason we realized it had to change, and this is honesty. And I want everybody else to realize this. No matter what you're doing, you got a business, you're working for somebody, you're out in the community, whatever you do. If you realize that there's something in you that's not being pulled out, it will get frustrating over time. All right. And that thing that you're feeling, we really believe is that purpose that's been put into you from God from the beginning. He's trying to pull you on a journey. And sometimes you will sit in certain places for too long.
Yeah.
And he starts to say, hey, hold up. You're holding up the journey, bruh. We got to get here. You're holding off in this area a little too long. So he starts to nudge you, and then he starts to pull you, and then he sends somebody to say, hey, yo, you about to miss the bus. That's what happens. A lot of us will fight tooth and nail against that pull. That pull's got us in here doing podcasting. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. What is that things that I can explain why I know I need to change? I can't explain why I know that something is missing in what I'm currently doing, but I'm gonna trust it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna let it start to get pulled out. That's really hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I want most people to realize, if not everybody that's listening to this, whoever you are, that don't ignore that thing that is trying to come out of you. that's not already out in what you're doing. Don't sit there and tell yourself, I'm good with what I have, because it's a feeling and it's something, and you've been feeling it. And I knew that for a long time. We kind of got messed up because we weren't able to communicate the right way about it. But to be honest, for a long time, what you was feeling, you couldn't even explain it. Before you even got to the desperate part, before that even came, if you think about years before that, trying to adjust prices, trying to adjust how we're doing things, trying to adjust who works for us and what they're doing. Everything was trying to and it's all good because it's part of our journey, but all of it was trying to kind of fix something and get you to what you, and that's another reason why we was arguing, because I always felt like you want to go be your own consultant or something, but that wasn't it. You just need more. You just been needing more. There's more to you. And now you're going to get the opportunity to do that. You know what I'm saying?
And I just want to give it a word of advice to anybody who might be listening. Get comfortable with failing. Don't be afraid to fail. It sounds cliche. I would say practice failing.
Well, I don't need to practice that.
No, I'm just saying.
I don't need to practice that. I don't need to practice that at all. I do that all the time.
I'm just saying, don't be afraid to fail, because that's what gets you out your comfort zone. It makes you more comfortable to talk to people. You get used to having uncomfortable conversations, and you don't know if something is working until it either works or fails. And that's then true. If you fail, you got to figure something else out.
That's true.
And if that don't work, figure something else out.
We was talking about, we're going to talk about change. And I tell you guys that that's something that's going to just pop up all the time as we go through episodes, because the ups and downs of life and going through your journey, that quiet journey, no matter how you're impacting people, is just for you. That's what makes it quiet. Like, if you really identify what it is, it's just for you. It's a specified path, and it might be very similar to others, but everyone is unique. And I don't want anyone to live their whole life, and when it's all said and done, you don't realize why you was here and had the opportunity to maximize that for yourself and other people. So that's the whole point of our show. But I want to ask you, I told you today is your day. Today is your day. I tell you that. Today is your day. The change we're talking about today was business related. Just one. Many changes, but it was business related. All tied into figuring out what your worth is, fixing the issue that you had before, and trying to see if people can ride with you or not. And it don't look like too many people riding. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to talk for a couple minutes about that journey that you took to figure out what your worth is, because to anybody that's starting a business or already has a business, like, there's probably certain tools and like steps that you can kind of do. And I just want you to think about it. But it's like, if somebody's out there and they have a business and they're thinking to themselves, am I really pricing this right? Am I doing things right when it comes to how I'm meeting with people, new clients? That's a headache. Like, am I giving them too much information in the beginning? Am I giving them not enough? Should I be charging them every time they want to talk to me? Is what I'm doing really making me any money? Or what should I really be charging people? Like, what is my business worth? What is this service really, really worth? You went through that, and you got from 25 to 100.
Yeah.
And a part of it you did by yourself. And then at some point you couldn't do it all by yourself. And I just want you to talk to people and give them some advice on how they could go about, figuring out, well, this is what I'm really worth, what I'm doing.
For me, it started with a prayer, talking to God about it, and just, this is my heart. This is the service I know you want me to provide. What should I do? Because these are my feelings. So just being transparent with the Lord. And then also doing some work as well. Like, I'm in different groups online with people in my same industry. So I searched, people who've had the same questions. So I'll just search, pricing, and then you can see, what other people in your same industry are charging. Internet searches, more prayer. But knowing that I needed help and just looking for it, but being open to the way it would come. And then eventually I got some coaches to help me that specialized, and they found me.
Now, yeah, so you did your prayer, and I don't know if everybody listening to us is going to be religious or not. Hopefully, you believe in something outside of just appearing out of nowhere, But that's your whole thing. That's your thing. We don't talk about that too much on this show. But I want to know, as you went through, you prayed about it, you did some research, you got into these groups. Why do you think it's important that you gotten into these online groups? Because I think people hear, or a lot of the times, being around the right people and how that can help and that kind of thing. We really, really believe that also.
Mm-hmm.
What has this online groups been able to do for you in regards to, stuff that maybe you could have saved time, or like stuff you would have had to go figure out on your own?
It's not anything new for me.
Okay.
I've always been on online groups for my industry, because I want to know what people are thinking. I want to know what people are dealing with. It's just so much access to knowledge. So, but it's very strange, but it's the way that the world is working, because even the coaches that I work with now, there's some strangers that I met online. Very impactful. So it changes my perception of how I see online business, e-commerce. It's a real thing. And I think it's been hard to see because, we grew up in a time where there was no online anything.
I know. And you know what's crazy? They're not even to sidetrack, but like, that you're getting older when you start saying stuff like, we grew up in a time. Mm-hmm. But it's real.
Yeah.
Because the time we're in right now ain't nothing like what we grew up in, for real. Nothing.
Yeah. And it makes me resistant.
Yeah.
But through this process, because we're pretty much an online business. Well, I mean, we've
been virtual from the beginning.
Yeah. But it allows me to see business in a different way.
Okay.
So I'm thankful for that.
All right. So you got in different online groups, you did your praying, you did your research. What else helped you to realize your worth? I think you got recently with like a consultant group as well. But like, could you have did it on your own, or is it one thing, two things that they specifically may have told you, or something that like really caught your eye that helped you to figure out what you really should be charging? Was it simply like, hey, well, this is what other people's charging?
No.
Or like what was like the biggest thing that was like,
the biggest
that was I didn't think of that. You know what I'm saying?
The biggest thing was I was doing things that I didn't know was actually something else. So it was like, okay, identifying what exactly are you doing?
Elaborate on that. I'm interested in that because it sounds like, I don't look, tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like from the beginning, remember what we talked about, we're doing something new, we're changing, we're excited, got a business together and all that, and we created a service, right?
Right.
And we started selling it. That service that we was selling it, are you saying that what you was doing as part of it, you didn't even realize was more than that, or it's doing other thing? Yes?
I knew that it was something else, but I didn't know exactly what that was.
Okay.
I just knew I'm doing a lot for this, but I didn't know when they started asking, what kind of stuff are you doing? And I'm laying out, they're like, okay, yeah, that's consulting, that's advisory, I'm like, really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nah. We ain't got all day to talk about this, but what I want to know is it possible, just to ask you, is it possible that when you first created the service, it wasn't enough parameters around what it was? Or was you kind of learning what the service was as you went through your client experiences? Was you providing the same thing to each client? Like, how was we always doing more than we needed to be? Or did we just not specify enough from the beginning?
No.
So we just kind of rode the wave type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
I think we were always doing more than what we needed to be.
Okay.
Because too accessible. it's too easy to get me on the phone, and for an hour I could tell you, okay, this is what you should be doing. Let me see your numbers. Let me run this budget. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's too much.
Hey, so check this
It's
out.
too, you supposed to be paying for that.
So check this out, dude. Let me know if I got this right, because I like to be transparent on our show. And everybody that's listening, look, we got two businesses together. They're both doing well now. We're making money. We got a pretty good clients, I think, overall. Employees, like it's a very exciting time, you know. But at the same time, everything you said on the podcast today has been talking about failures and things that were did wrong. And you said, don't be afraid to do that. We can't be afraid to change. We can't be afraid to put our hand up and be like, yo, I'm getting this wrong. We also talked about how it could take all day for us to address it. You know what I'm saying? And all the reasons why that we had, and we ain't tap into other stuff on another day. But it sounds like, summing it up, even though we had this business together, we were undercharging, right? We were providing more service than was actually supposed to be in the service that we was providing. So we was doing more work for even less money. So we was getting it wrong on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
That's very tough. And the thing is, as we're talking, I'm actually learning something on our podcast today, because you know why? I'm going to apologize to you, my friend, because you're the only person that felt that, and to that type of severity. Because the day that you left your job and you started working here full time, that's when you started feeling that. It wasn't just the money. That's what it is. So people realize this. And the change that you had to make, and everybody probably listening to the episode might think, oh, they had to charge more money. And tell them, no, that's a piece of it, but that's not the whole thing. The biggest part for me is the worth part, and you realizing what you're worth and having to address that. And that's what was hurting your heart, as well as the money. The money, of course, right? But that was a big part of it. And I'm realizing that you coming home and working in this environment, you're the one that would have felt it right away. And way more than me, that you're providing so much. You got what I'm saying? To your clients. You're giving so much. You're getting nowhere near what you should get. And now somebody makes that very clear to you. That's like a light bulb going off. You would have to address that. You have to address that. So I respect that. So I got you. I hope that we don't be keeping secrets and all that. You know what I'm saying? But how could you not address something where you realize you're actually doing more than you're supposed to do, and you're getting less than you're supposed to get? So I respect how you was feeling. Feel me? I apologize that you had to go through that environment. I think we could work through things better in the future, you know? And another thing I want to add to that, we didn't even really feel it collectively as that big of a deal, because I want people to know that you can be doing well and struggling at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was us.
Yeah.
Like doing well but struggling. So I'm gonna end with this, and then you jump in with anything that you hear. But find a way. I want to end with this, guys, and what we'll learn today. I hope you guys take away with this. In your business, are you doing well, but you're also struggling? Were you like us? You got clients, you're making money, spending money. It comes in, it goes out. It's improving your lifestyle to some aspect, but there's nothing really to show for it. And as time goes along, it's actually taking more and more out of you. What was sat here and talked about today is that can take other turns and impacts in your life when you don't address it. You got to change some things to prevent that from happening. Now, we needed to change some things and how we was looking at you working, leaving your job. That was our first change that we missed. We were supposed to change how we was looking at that. I want to sum this up. We were supposed to find a way to change the view from just feelings and pride and all this other individual stuff and make it about the business and staff it right and price it right. We missed that change. All right. That trickles down into an environment where we're not realizing how we should change how we communicate to each other. Yes? Because you're not the part-time person anymore like I am. You are working this thing full time. It impacts you differently. I need to change. You need to change to make it work. As we go forward, now you realize something and you have the epiphany of doing too much and getting too little. Now we got to make another change. Yes? And you go and make that change.
Yeah.
And you do it in a way that we realize now we got to change something else because you went and did it on your end. Yeah? Now, from there, you got to go forward and the first email, first call, first whatever you got to say is changing how you communicate with people you work with. All of those changes, guys, in this one thing of realizing this is what I'm worth and I got to do something. So I want you guys to take away, don't let anybody, what you see on Instagram or anything, people making money, got this business, it's hard to earn a business. Don't let anybody tell you no different. It's hard to do anything in life that's purposeful, that you are the thing that drives and leads it. Because as you go along, you're going to learn that you are required to change things. One of them, like I said, could be yourself, what you're doing, how you're doing, who you're doing it with. And that continues to change and evolve over time. The only way that it works is if you, as a person, are willing to change. All right? That's all I got for y'all, baby. What you got? Are we good?
Man, that was some quiet money right there.
That's true. And you know what? But listen, make sure you follow our show, because what you're going to be able to do is be a part of a community. You're connected with real people that's making real money, doing real things, but really being real, because everything you do, there's ups and there's downs. And if you want to get information and be part of figuring out how to go through those things together, we want to hear about what you're going through. I promise you, what you're going through, somebody else has been through it. We just trying to tap it together. So you ain't got to do it on your end. We don't need to be out there on your end. All right? Till next time, make sure you subscribe to our podcast, and we definitely appreciate y'all listening in to us, and make sure you follow us and don't miss out on any other future episodes. Peace. Make sure you follow Quiet Money Podcast on all streaming platforms that have podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Leave comments on our videos. Let us know what you're going through, ups and downs. We want to hear from you. We engage with you. And we'll see you next time. Peace.